And I was talking on mute, of course. Hello, everyone. How's it going? All right. How are you? How are you? Let's actually get into the fun part already. I'm going to quickly double check if everything is looking good on X as well. Good. Yeah, I think we're good. We'll keep an eye on that. Well, let's actually get to the coding part. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Share. Let's quickly. I'm gonna quickly do something quick. Give me 1 second. Let's go to chatting for now. And how has your week been, by the way? I'm just setting my screen in the meantime. So okay, I can see. Let's try to fix that then in one by one. So that should not be there. I'm gonna stop sharing. Low cap hunter, hey, how's it going? No problem at all. It's helping me anyways. So no worries. I'm looking at just fixing my screen, and that's going to be an interesting one because I don't want to ruin my settings. Okay, I think I have something. This happens when you get off from work and have not too much time to fix things. And let's fix it like this as well. Good. Yeah, I think now I'm ready. Let's click this one off. Go here. Lookup says great. Nice. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Shanza says, "Hi, sir. Where can I watch previous recording? Which recording? Is there a specific one that you're looking for, or which one? You have to be a bit more specific." And screen one. And hold your horses. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There we go. So we're gonna wait on this one. And so quick overview to the people who are new to the stream, who don't know what's going on. I'm building sort of the next generation platform for the next generation of developers. So I'm going to look into, I can quickly maybe show it to you. Let's see if I can find. Of course, the server is not working. So let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna make myself bigger a bit. And that's not the one, and this is the one. Good. So there we go. So yes, this is a project that I'm working on, and this is called 02 website. And what I'm building here is essentially just a platform where developers can learn from what I call a Socratic AI. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And we go here. There we go. So yeah, this whole thing has been built with a lot of context engineering, a lot of question and answer, and of course Claude Code, GSD, which is get shit done, and then a bunch of other things as well. But we're going to proceed from here. I'm currently looking into some SEO tickets as well. So we'll see where this goes. Shanza says anti-gravity. Anti-gravity related to what? I don't understand. Do you mean the previous streams where I went with anti-gravity, or something different? I have to be a bit more specific about your question. I'm learning Angular and .NET. Any advice? The advice would be to create a lot of projects. The moment you stop creating projects, um, that's the moment you stop essentially learning. So make sure that you are creating projects constantly, experimenting with different things, learning about databases and whatnot. Shanda says yes. When you go to my website, you can essentially go to. Let me see if I can find it. When you go to the YouTube channel, you can go to past live streams. I think Code with Ahsan, and here you should be able to see this live button. When you go to live here, you can see all the live streams from before. So maybe this is what you're looking for. If you're looking for past live streams, this is where you'll find. If you're looking for videos, then this is going to be right here. So it depends on what you're looking for. But anyways, let's go to the crux of the matter. So I am right now at a place where I'm looking into the SEO of the application, and currently I'm discussing the requirements with with GSD or Cloud Code. So I'm looking into what I can build with this. So we are only adding new libraries. Okay, existing stack is sufficient. Then these are the tickets that we are creating. So those of you who don't know GSD, it's a nice library, and it's right now the only library that I've tested as a framework for Cloud Code. But if you know of others, you can let me know. But my experience so far has been nice with this. I've seen that when it comes to research, it does consume a lot of Cloud Code tokens. But when it comes to implementation and the accuracy, I think it's pretty nice, and I can build on top of what I see. So it helps things ship faster to those who already know the core concepts, so to say. So here we have a bunch of tickets. So pricing and conversion. So user can review the pricing page with 3-tier comparison. Yeah, this is what we discussed. Frequently asked section, real-time founder spots remaining. Yeah. Founders can opt out wall display via settings. Yes. Free tier limited to 10 AI evaluations. Reader tier limited to 50 AI evaluations. Yes. Founder essentially gets unlimited, which is a high cap. Okay. Rate limit applied consistently through across AI routes. Okay. User sees remaining evaluation count in UI before hitting limit. Okay. Then we have, I think we may have to reduce the cap in here. Maybe it can't be 50 AI evaluations per day. It could be, or maybe it's fine. Maybe it should be 35 or 40. I don't know. We'll see. Pricing page has a static OG meta text with branded image. Yeah. Wall of founders. Leaderboard page has dynamic generate metadata. Yeah. Leaderboard has its dedicated OG image. Yep. And I'm going to show you the system as well. Like, how does it look so far? Users can generate personal referral link. This is a small feature that I added just for the sake of MVP. Referral code captured from URL on sign up and stored in profile. Okay. Self referral prevented. Okay. Sign up page displays referred by username when. Okay. Good. Skills report, shareable skills. I think we're good. So I'm going to approve this. And if you have not tried this flow, I would encourage you to look into this. It's a pretty decent flow. So let's see. So while this is doing it, I can show you what the platform looks like at the moment. So here's the platform. If someone joins this and has access to the book as well, that's I'm going to publish in a few days. they can essentially go ahead and attempt different challenges. So you can see all your challenges here. You have different chapters in the book. For example, Introduction to Web Development, HTML5 Fundamentals, CSS Styling, CSS Layout with Flexbox, JavaScript Fundamentals. All of those are available. But a lot of these are, it depends on who's logged in. If someone who has the premium access, they can start essentially any chapter. So I can go to start chapter and I can say continue anyway, and it would still go beyond this. But if someone does not have a premium access, then they will not be able to do it. And then we also have, for example, let's pick HTML fundamentals. If I continue with this one, I can see all these tickets or all these challenges, and I can pick a challenge. And we have within the application your challenges where you know what to do. I think this could be a bit better. Maybe it should come down here so it has a bit nicer UI. But I'm a bit skeptical on this one because this usually is really small, really small hints on what you need to do, but then it grows as you go from here. So, for example, if I try to look into, let's say, it says create a contact form with fields for name, email, message, and submit button. The idea for implementing here is essentially to get some hints but then code yourself so you do know a bit about the concepts that you learned from the book. So I could get a hint. So here you can see it gives a first hint, and this is usually a very basic hint, and this uses this Socratic AI, which is a bit guided. So it does say, okay, what kind of what kind of elements are you thinking of using actually to collect all the different pieces of information from user, like their name and message. The user might think, okay, we are talking about form, right? Something like this. Then maybe they get stuck somewhere. They can go ahead and say, get another hint. When they get another hint, it's going to be one step more. So here it says inside that main interactive element on line 11, where we have what pieces do you think are needed to gather information like a name, email, and longer message, so to say. So it asks question and it makes the developers think instead of giving them complete answers. So we do have the email. We also have the message and the submit button. So we should have a text area and we should have a button of type. We'll keep it button for now, but essentially it should be submit. And now we're getting another hint. So let's see what happens here. Sorry, I'm just looking at an important message. Mhm. Okay, good. Let's go back. Yeah, so let's have a look at why did this fail really? Is that because our server restarted or what happened there? Let's have a look. Okay, so we have something must have a required property. Okay, so we did get back an invalid question, maybe. Let's try this. It could be because of the compilation issue. Um, but I'm also thinking that the users may lose their progress if when they refresh. So we definitely want this possibility of saving all the information so they don't really lose it. So let's see if we can add that as well. Adjust the phases, review full file. I would say so. We do have the pricing infrastructure and DB Foundation, Wall of Founder, social proof. Um, I would go and say chat about this. So we do have a full sort of plan created, but it's not. I do want to fix the thing that's bothering me first. So let's see. Um, want to ensure that okay. So I want to add another phase before the ones you've created. Right now, the code written in the challenge is not, what do you call it? It's not saved anywhere locally. Let's fix it to store um, it in indexed DB or SQLite, whatever has more space, so it stays in the user's machine. We could also store the challenge or their code, their progress, but I think it's probably not as fun. But let's see what comes up here. So in here, it says IndexedDB is the right choice. It offers much more storage than the local storage. So hundreds of MB versus I know local storage is like 5 MB or something. So we don't really want to use that. And SQLite is in the browser requires WASM library. Okay, I did not know that. So let's see if this phase gets added. So we are adding into requirements already. And I like this approach because I can actually stop anytime and continue anytime from this from where we leave. So that's a nice way of not losing progress when you're working on a particular milestone. So I have a whole milestone with a bunch of tickets, with a bunch of goals. Um, and some of them can be run in sequence like 0, 2, 4, 6. 1 and 3 can run in parallel. 1 and 5 can run in parallel as well. So it's nice overall. Ayan Rajput says, any advice about Flutter development? Look, the advice for a bunch of things, including like Flutter development, is essentially that you have to spend time. You have to spend time in reading books. You have to spend time in, looking at different tutorials, courses. All of that still applies. Malik Abdullah says, Salam Ahsan Bhai wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How is it going? I'm trying to look at where do I have these settings of the stream. Sending messages without, I don't want to send messages automatically. Let's see. I don't know. Let's go with this. Malik Abdullah, how's it going? और क्या हो रहा है इस पहर? Okay, so continuing where we left off, adding phase 1, local code persistence, and renumbering the roadmap. Let me read the current files. What I'll do also is when the first phase is completed, then we'll also deploy and see if that works, or merge at least to see if my local answer is being saved or not, right? So let's quickly try to do it, but I wouldn't expect developers to do it this way. Well, let's quickly go ahead and try out chat and reasoning. I'm gonna go to Flash Pro, select this, create a contact form with fields for name, email messages, submit button. So I'll say we have this HTML CSS exercise. Um, Here's the starter code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the starter code from here. And I'll say give the final output. So I'm just going through this so I can validate via the, or get more hints even. Let's see if I get a hint now on what it has. So we do have some issues now. What happened to the generation problem? Question, your form looks. So we need to increase. Okay, we need to, I think I remember. I think we had either 300 or 500 somewhere mentioned. I do know there were some, I think it's in hint controller. So we do have max tries here. We should have a number here that says how many, what is the output, so to say. But we have AI here. So this should be GenKit index is going with this one. Flows, evaluate code flow. I have to check which, I mean, I can ask AI as well, but I can also look into where this thing is. Socratic hint 1. Here we have this configuration. So we have the maximum outputs here. This is 500. I would probably go a bit more than that. Maybe I would go to 1500 for now and save this. Max output tokens. So we do have that in a bunch of files apart from the plan and markdown files. We do have that inside code review prompt, direct feedback prompt, Socratic hint 1 to 3, right? So we changed that. This one is 1000. This one is, I would say then let's make this 1000 as well. So we save this. We save this guy as well. And we also save this as well. And then we see if the app works now. So let's refresh. I'm going to copy this code again. Paste here again. Get a hint. Let's see. We still have some issue. Interesting. That's interesting. Why do we have an error with, let's see. So here, if I look at the errors here, we still get question I. Okay, let's go through this. It could be possible that something else broke it, but let's see. Continue to face planning, but I'll also say, I would say approved, but I want you to fix a bug quickly. So let's pause the work for now. Let's see. By the way, if you're coming from X or a platform where you know me for Angular work, we are about to end this discount that only is until 31st of January. So it's until tomorrow day end. So if you are interested in Angular, grab it while you can. It's going to end tomorrow. I'm going to hide the code now. All right, let's go. So now we have the bug. So let's quickly try to get that. So here, this. So here we do have this. So what I'm going to do is we have an issue on getting hints. And then I can also mention that we probably had this issue before and we fix it by what did we do? By increasing the max output token for the hint. See if that's the issue, or if we are still using streaming for the response. We don't need streaming. It could be that because we had some plans before that involved streaming, it could be that it still has some sort of streaming implemented. Let's see. Canoodling. So LLM return truncated response. Let me read the actual hint controller and the prompt files to see the exact configuration. I think the problem could be that we are not really using structured outputs. Let's actually go to Google Genkit AI TypeScript structured output. It could be that. Let's see. So when we go to the documentation, structured output, which is right here, let's actually get Genkit by example. Let's actually try to use it because we're using this dot prompt file. It could be retreating strings and then parsing them. If so, let's just use structured outputs. See the, what do you call it? See the docs right here. So I love the fact that AI models now at least have the possibility to go to URLs, read the documentation and whatnot. Amir Hamza says, hi, Hassan. Hello to you too. How's it going? How are you? So I'm interested in looking at what kind of changes would it recommend. Let's see, because it does use the prompt files. So I want to see where are these used, because I think it's not using structured output. So let's see. Socratic hint one dot prompt. Where do we use it? No. So we do have the prompts. Aha, hint dash one dot prompt. Let's say if I can find code review. So here it just, aha, okay. So GenKit can actually work with prompts, and you can just give the prompt file, and it should be able to then take the max outputs, etc. It does take the schema. I don't think then we need the max output tokens at all. Maybe we should just remove it. Or no, I think Cloud Code adjusted it to 8192. I don't know why, but okay. So here it sees the contrast clearly. Prompt files and remove all manual parsing. So what was happening was schemas were duplicated, defined as Zod in schemas TS, again as JSON schema YAML in each prompt file. So that was the issue. Hint controller does manual string parsing, fallback, regex JSON extraction from result text. Okay, we don't want that. Both controllers are double validated with safe parts after GenGet already validated. Good. The fix is to register Zod schemas with AI defined schema. Good. Reference them by the name in prompt files and remove all manual parsing. Now I see the contrast clearly. Value flow already uses the correct pattern. Good. With output schema, evaluation, output schema. Because I also saw that before, and that is the right way to do. User YW8FD9LJ8T. How are you? What kind of name is that? Then we have removing all the manual JSON. I'm gonna actually go up to read more, because to be honest, if you're not reading the AI's output, you don't know what you're doing. Well, sometimes even if you read the output, you don't know what you're doing, but I think it makes it a bit better. So registering the Zod schemas in the index.ts makes sense. Update all 5 prompt files to just reference the schema. Sounds good. Clean up the hint controller. Clean up the review controller. Sounds good to me. So now we have all the schemas coming in from AI schemas. Very nice. Defining all the schemas. Good. Removing from the files. Nice. And we should have then, okay. So now we should not have that error popping up. So let's try this again. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to copy the output, paste it here, get the hint, and we'll see what happens. Would it fail or not? Arsalan Khan says, hi brother, what are your thoughts on .NET with React Angular stack in 2026? I think it's good overall. I've not seen React with .NET yet. Maybe that's a thing, but I've not seen it. But .NET with Angular is a really nice combination. Yeah, I saw some people downloaded the absolute Git cheat sheet, which was also taught in the University of Sydney in one of their courses. So feel free to download the free Git cheat sheet. Okay, so we get our first hint where it says, from your form is looking really complete. I wonder if you have taken a moment to confirm that each of your I elements on line 26, 31, and 36 is correctly associated with its respective I or T element in the following line. So here it says your I element on line 26, 31. So here we have, is it giving us the right line numbers or correctly associated with I or T element? So, aha, okay. It's not actually I, it's actually L. So it's asking if it makes you think so much. So it's asking, are the labels correct with the input and text area. Let's get another hint. So we'll see. Maximum hints reached. Okay, so this time we have reached the maximum hints in this case. So I cannot get another hint. I'm going to look at my profile. Is this a normal user or is it this is a founder's beta, so this should it's because we have not implemented rate limiting actually for everyone at the moment. Okay, so then we can test this when we have the right thing implemented. So let's quickly go here. Okay, issue is fixed. Let's move with the face. Good, good, good. In the meantime, let's also see that how many people have we gotten on our mentorship platform so far. So we have 55 mentorships ongoing, 24 active members at the moment. I do know we have some other mentors that I also have to review. Maybe we can do it now or no, because I did implement the streamer view in which we don't have to see their names and email, but I would still have to see their what do you call it? I still have to see their emails and their CVs. So maybe we can do that in the chat mode. And I do want to change the chat setting. I don't know where that would be. Let's see. I'm gonna change this restream setting. They did used to have previously a setting where I could disable the chat sending a lot of information. Captions not there. I don't know. I can't see it. So we would have to bear with that, I think. Anyways, let's quickly go to um, the admin side of things as well. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be it. It's going to start creating or it's going to start researching, and I can just relax in the meantime. We could push the changes, to be honest, and check um, if the hint is working fine. But let's see. How many of you have heard about this tool called ClawdBot? Thanks again. Mm-hmm. Wes, what is the name? Buhar or who? Buyar. How's it going? Hello to you too. So this is going to be, sometimes I think that when we have these tools which are going to just do a bunch of things, and then I don't know, then I just have to be silent and just sit there or do something else, which is an interesting way of working. We can also fix in the meantime this thing here. Please make the CV resume link mandatory so we can easily identify experience of the person who are applying to be a mentor. I think this is a good issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something interesting. If I go to my project here, I can actually go ahead, and this also uses GSD at the moment. So I would go ahead and say GSD quick, a quick issue, and here I can explain to it what I want to fix, and with a new branch and with a new PR. So let's see. So we are going to make the registration CV mandatory for the mentors. So let's say describe below. What do you want to do? I want to chat about this. Okay, so we have to fix the issue number 126, and I'll say read it and then rebase from main and create a PR afterwards against main. So just by doing this, the AI is able to go to the pull request, see what who pushed it. For example, here you can see that we have the title make resume link mandatory, the state is open, Maham Tahir is the one who opened it, and we can see all the details here as well. Like this is the title, this is the CV, blah blah blah, and I can see all of this, and then it fetches the information, and then it would fix it, find the issue, fix it, and then create a PR. Your tech buddy 88 says hello, salam wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, how are you doing? So let's have this fix the issue of not having what do you call it, not having the CV as mandatory. So we're going to fix that issue. So for any mentor that comes on our platform, and when they register, they would have to have what do you call it, they would have to provide their CV. So it is not optional anymore. But can I go to, or I'm thinking I could use a test URL as well. I could also try restream IO disable timers, or what do you call it? Sorry, give me 1 second. I need to change the camera's battery. Pixroad says, is Nano Banana having trouble generating images? I haven't seen that problem lately. Did you have issues? Or did you face any issues, etc.? Da, 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 timer messages disable. Disable. I want to see where. Your tech buddy says, could you please quickly walk me through AI skills and how I should try experimenting with it? Do you mean AI agent skills or something else? When you say AI skills, are you talking about the agent skills which Anthropic has introduced, or something else? And when I say agent skills, I mean this agent skills, which are introduced by Anthropic, these ones. So are you referring to these skills or are you talking about AI skills in general? Let me know. Okay, so fixing issue, PR created as well. And now we can go from there. So let's quickly open the PR. And it got opened into the wrong tab. So let's open it here. And I'm going to open it here. You're saying yes, AI agent skills. Yeah, sure. I can explain in a quick message or in a quick section. So what were the changes done? So we have the CV trim. If we don't have the CV, it would throw an error. And here we are making it possible to just pass it always. We are making sure to put the required around the CV, and then we are putting the required on the input, right? So the PR is generated with all of this. All I need to do is just to push it. And I can also go ahead and see if it allows me to check the deployment. So here is the preview. Here's the preview. Would it allow me? I think it doesn't allow me. And we also had an issue with Z index here, right? So here, this domain is not allowed. I think in Google settings, we did say to allow this, but it doesn't actually. So here it says unauthorized domain, right? So it doesn't allow for some reason to the Vercel previews. I could add this, but the problem would be, anyways, let's merge it. But I think we could actually add this with a sort of, what do you call it? With sort of a wild card. Your tech buddy said AI agent skills. Yes. So in short, there's a difference between those two. I can try to explain this, and maybe if someone can clip it, maybe I can add that later. So we have we have something here. I can tell you what that is. So here, what is this? What is this background? This is background. Okay. The background should actually be, I don't know, this. Is this just me who thinks this is weird, or what happened to Exalidraw? I'm going to reload. I was hoping for a nice little, I don't know if it's the platform or it's just me. Or maybe they have changed something. Text to diagram, frame tool. What have they done? Oh, okay. Anyways, let's try this. So we have a fill, which is this. We have stroke style. We have sloppiness. I'm gonna, aha, the sloppiness is the case maybe. And then we have the edges. So here we have this. Let's try it with background empty. And we start with this guy. Okay, so this is much nicer. I was like, what's happening there? So what I wanted to actually talk about is this. We do have, so by default, when you have your large language model, is this Excel? Let's go with medium. So you have your large language model like this. What happens is, whenever you try, or whenever the user tries to make a query, this large language model has essentially a context window. So here is your context window. You can say that at when you're starting your context window, it's almost empty if you're using just the large language model. If you have, let's say, something that we call guards, you can call them guards. You can call them system instructions. You can also even call them, I don't know, Sometimes it's called agent.md, context files. When you have those things, what happens is that as soon as you start your large language model and a user comes in, as soon as the user, we did not want to do that, do want to do this. So if this is the case where your user is going in and asking a question, so your user goes ahead, asks a question to the large language model. Here, asks a question. If your large language model already has a guardrail, so let's say we have this situation right here. And if your user asks a question which has guardrails, this doesn't have it, then what would happen is that as soon as the question is asked, or even the user not asking those questions, even before that, you can say this was not even there. Here, what happens is that this would already pre-fill its context. So here we already have essentially C, a context window fill. So that is what usually happens. As soon as the large language model starts, the user even having the user has not asked a question at this point, but we have the context window filled. Similarly, now when the user comes in and actually says, okay, I have a question, what happens then is that it continues from there. So you're going to have this situation where the user is asking a question, and then the question comes in here, and then the user's question comes in. Then the large language model's response goes out. So when you have this LLM, which responds back to the user, then what happens is then you again have the context window being filled. Does that make sense? So this is the usual flow. What happens when it comes to the agent skills, the difference between this guy and the normal ones, where you don't have these guards, you essentially have AI agent skills. AI agent skills, just making it a bit more nicer. Then what happens is these ones do not get the large language models bloated. For example, if I say I'm going to copy this, paste it here. In this particular example, we don't have the user asking a question. Let's say there's no response. This is happening somewhat around here. And right now we only have this AI agent skills. What would happen from this AI agent skill is that it has two different things. It has what you call actual metadata, and then what you have here is instructions. So you have two different things. AI agent skills are also markdown rules, yes. So this is what you have. You have AI agent skills, which essentially have metadata and instructions within it, right? So what would happen in this case is the large language model only has access to this information. So here you only have the metadata that the large language model has. So as a return, what happens is that if these are not there, then you would have just the metadata taking, let's say, this tiny space of your context. I could remove this. I could also remove this. So maybe this, even this might be actually a lot. So this is what you have in large language model when it comes to the agent skills. So this metadata contains the information about the name and description, etc. So here you can have the name, description, etc. So all of that essentially comes under the metadata. The instructions, where your actual instructions are, they are not in the large language model at all. So let's say when the user asks a question where the AI agent skills are not required at all. So let's say we say we so in the situation where we have a question doesn't need AI agent skills. In that particular case, what would happen is the same. So we would have the question and the output right here. So it's actually something like this. Now, when you have a situation where you actually need the AI agent skills, in that case, when you ask a question that the user is that needs AI skills, so that needs AI agent skills. That is essentially what's going to happen later. So if I could quickly say metadata here, then in this particular case, we do have metadata already from here, but now it will also go ahead and it would go ahead and ask for instructions. So it will get instructions from AI agent, and that happens on runtime. So it's not happening when your large language model starts, it's actually happening when the agent actually needs it. So this needs AI agent skills is the key factor here. So this has to be understood at its core. So this part right here, this is important, right? So that means that your agent skills would be fetched on runtime by the large language model, and then the large language model will respond. So this is really, really, really important to understand. So here you can, if you say that we have the metadata being fetched first, let's try to make it nicer. So if the metadata is the first step, the user asking is the second step, which is right here. The large language model going to get the instructions is the third step, and large language model sending back the response is the fourth step. This is how the progression goes, right? So to answer your question, AI agent skills are also marked on files, but they are not rules. There's a difference between rules, and rules was the keyword that I was trying to say when I was here. So guards and rules dot empty, something like that, right? So in this manner, when you have the situation where you have a question from the user, then it's going to come here. Then it's going to go ahead and ask the large language model, or sorry, the AI agent skills in that case. So then it would fetch that information. That would then fill a bit of memory, of course, because it's fetching your AI agent skills, like what it should need to do. And then it goes ahead with this whole solution. So here is your answer then. Does that make sense? So you could have 50 AI agent skills, but only one of them might trigger when needed. But if you had 50 rule files, all of them would be already in the context window as soon as you start. Does that make sense? Can I get some yes in the chat? I'm going to check what's happening here. Okay, so we have the plans done. IndexedDB storage module, persistent hook, challenge integration. Okay, let's actually execute this in the meantime. Your tech buddy says kind of makes sense. And now let's have a quick look at the AI skill example. So let's go to console, and let's say I have, I don't know if I have skills here. Maybe I have, maybe I don't. Let's have a quick look. Here you see it says 2 skills. If I say slash skills list, you see here it says we have some skills: Vercel, React best practices, and web design guidelines, right? So we have 2 of these skills at the moment. Now what I'm going to do is let's actually create a new skill. So let's open this. Let's go to the editor here, and what I'm going to do is we do have, I think we have the skills not here, but actually in somewhere else. Let's actually create some skills. So here I'm going to add a new file. Let's add it here. We're going to call it Gemini. Skills. Let's add greet, or yeah, let's add a skill named Ahsan. Okay, and then I can say skill.md. So now I have created, and this is a structure that you would want to have. So you have skills, then you have the folder name, which represents what kind of skill it is. So this is a skill that I can say it's a friend of Ahsan, right? Something like this. And inside that we have the skill. Now here you define the metadata. So here you can take an example from existing ones. So if I go to hello world, let's go here. By the way, those of you who are watching, make sure to like the stream if you have not already done. That really helps the channel grow. Sharik Beg says, hi Ahsan, hello to you too. How's it going? So here we have the structure of the file. At the top, you have these three sort of dashes. Then you have the name, then you have the description. So here we have the name of the skill says friend of Ahsan. Here it says provides information about Ahsan himself, right? So we have this, right? Now what I'm going to do is I can go and say this is the instruction. So here I can say instructions. You could also have certain fields above as well. I think there's something called when to use, something like this. But you can see the official documentation from here. So ideally, you should have, if I can see an example somewhere. Loading a PDF processing skill. So here's a brief example, like the skill name, instructions, examples, all of those can go there. But anyways, let's actually build something. So when to use, when someone asks who Ahsan is, or we can say, or Muhammad Ahsan is, right? Instructions, when this skill is activated by the phrase, who is Ahsan or similar, what do we need to do? We need to do a couple of things. We need to run npx ahsan which shows his npm card. This was a package I did, I don't know, a lot of years ago. Second, I would say greeting, or I would say something like this. Fetch the about info from https codewithahsan.dev/about. Tell an interesting fact about Ahsan in the chat, right? So these are some things that we could do. Now here I could say output of npx ahsan, right? Here I could say where Ahsan studied or lived, his accomplishments, for example, etc. And here I can say interesting books, maybe. So I save this skill now, and now I should have the skills list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open another tab, and this was in CodewithAhsan. So if I go and do Gemini, Sharik says, I'm doing good. Great stuff and related to AI skills. I wonder if you have checked out the latest article by Versal on AI skills. Yeah, yeah. Versal's best practices, right? I've done that. I have a video that I have to publish. I haven't got time to do that yet. But I have some plans. We'll see. But here, for example, if I go ahead and say slash skills and I say list, can you see we have friend of SN as a skill registered here? So that's how you basically create a skill. And what I've done is that I've mentioned in the instructions in natural language what it should do, but you could also ask it to execute some code or execute as command. In my example, I do have this command to be executed. So let's see. So here we have some skills. If I just go ahead and say, what is the name of this project? And by the way, who is Asan, right? So let's see what this does now. So do you see already, as soon as it finds that there is something that can use an AI skill, it automatically says activate the skill. So here it's asking me to activate the skill. Friend of SN provides information about SN himself. So now when I run this and I say allow for this session, it's going to ask me to run that command now. So now you see it automatically asks me to run the command right there. So shell npx snirs, this is the current working directory. If I say allow for this suggestion, then it runs that command and it should show my I don't know, my what was for tab, it was a tab. Yeah. So yeah, now it would show output from my card from years ago. Yeah, Google developers expert in Angular, ngcookbook.com, blah blah blah. And now you can see it does the next thing that I asked it to do. And the third thing was to or actually the second thing was to go to the website and fetch information on where I studied, etc. So it went to CodewithAhsan.about, CodewithAhsan.dev/about, and fetch information from there. So here is software architect, author, and Google developer expert in Angular. He's the author of Angular Cookbook and is passionate, blah, blah, blah. Now it also says he lives currently in Stockholm, Sweden. That information is not available here, right? But it's available down there. So that's how simple it is to create skills. And as you said, as you saw, we don't really have all the skills within the large language model out of the box. We will trigger them as it detects that something is happening. Similarly, if I try to create a React component now in this project, this would probably trigger the Versal best practices, so to say. Again, the final thing was he has extensive expertise in JavaScript, blah blah blah. This is like the fun fact part, but of course, this could be implemented in so many ways. We could also have something interesting. Maybe instead of doing this, we could say generate an ASCII art of SN in the terminal using Figlet package. I think Figlet package that works in Node.js or something like that, right? So what I'm going to do is let's change this as key. So let's try it again now. I'm going to say skills, reload. So it will reload my skills now. And I'll say who is Asan and let's see what happens. Your tag buddy says, I'll try experimenting with it. How's your experience with it so far? It's not too bad. It's nice. I can create my skills. I was looking into generating skills or generating a skill that generates other skills. So we can actually do a lot of stuff there. So in here, it did not go with the last command, it seems like. What was the one that had here, I think? So we do have generate ASCII here, right? Figlet is the command that we have. So maybe I could, instead of doing something like this, we'll do by running npx figlet. And do we have in a command? Oh, I think we do have this command, but this requires something else. So it takes the second argument and then it runs this as the text. Aha, okay. I wonder if I would be able to run this by just pasting it in. Let's see. Running the following code. And now that I've copied it from there, I have to actually paste it. Da, 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 da. And we do it like this. JS. Paste it like this. We don't need the args here. Here I say SN. And we save this. Now we go forward. Skills. Reload. Let's try this again. I think it cached the information, so it's not really running this again. Let's see if this happens again. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's try this. I'm gonna say clear. Let's see who is Ahsan. Does it ask me to activate the skill when I clear it or no? Okay, so now it says activate, and now it says, okay, I will run this, and then it will run the whole skill again. Otherwise, it gives the response from the chat itself. So it already knew me before. And now you can see it will try to generate the ASCII card. Hey, let's go. Super nice. Autoflow AI 01. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And perhaps Allah Hafiz, because I have to go. I was here to quickly implement some stuff while I can. But now I actually have to go. Okay, so GSD plan phase 2, first fresh the context window, that's fine. Pricing infrastructure foundation. Do I need to discuss phase 2? And I think we already did, but we'll see. Okay. Ta-ra-ra-ra. Right, meaning AI skill refreshes the context. AI skills refresh context window. I don't understand what you mean, but if a chat already knows that I am Ahsan, then it will not run the skill again because it doesn't need to for that information. But if you say create a new project, then it would gather that information maybe. So it's a bit nuanced. I have to try and test, does it trigger it again all the time? Do I have to instruct it to do it all the time? And that kind of information. Sayyid Awais Alisha wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Maybe we could say always trigger or always run everything again from the instructions below. We could ask it to do it again, right? Who is Ahsan or similar? Run the following every single time again. Do not cache. I mean, we could be explicit about this. So now when we go ahead and clear window, we can try to do is who is Ahsan, and then let's see what happens. Muhammad Abdullah Aziz says, this was amazing, Ahsan bhai. Thank you, thank you. Make sure to share the video or clip these as well if you can. So here, it does all of this. So I'm gonna run this. So it ran npx Ahsan ayaz. It fetches the web fetch, and then it generates the ASCII. All of this by just asking who was Ahsan, right? So now it has given me the output. Now I can also say, what about Muhammad Ahsan? Who is he? Does it say he's the same guy? Or does it say, I don't know. So it activates this again, right? So here, since I have mentioned in the description, always run this again and again and don't cache it. You can see that the AI is smart enough to understand that as well. So you can get information or get things to run multiple times. It's up to how you prompt it. So there, that's where the prompt engineering is coming in. If you ask it, if your prompt is simple, then it's the same concept of, garbage in, garbage out. So I hope this was interesting to you. Um, and we also got a PR for the issue, the mentor registration form. I think we already merged it, right? Did we? I think we merged it, right? Yeah. So making the CV resume link mandatory. So this was fixed. Check the mentee's Discord name. I think we already fixed it. This one was done. So I'm going to close this. This is, by the way, my platform. That's the mentorship platform. I'm going to close this ticket. Show feedbacks given. We should have a button like feedbacks whenever NT mentorship. We should get review from mentee. And he can see. Plus, when anyone visit our site before registering as a mentor. Okay, we're not going to show the reviews publicly or the ratings to keep internal reviews and avoid bias while choosing the mentors. So we'll not have those. Your tech buddy says it was Jazakallah. Good. Make sure to share the stream if it helped you and tag me on socials, if it's Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever. It really helps spread the word and also helps reach more people as well, so I can help out more people. When a mentee creates an account on the site, we can assign that mentee a mentee role on Discord. This is a good one. This is something I have been willing to do. So when there's a mentee who registers, we have to manually go on Discord and we have to give them the role. So maybe if we look at our roles, we could see, if I go to roles, I don't know if I can get the role ID. So we do have a mentor ID, role ID here. So I'm going to copy the role ID. And we also have a mentee role ID, right? So 68 mentees, about 27 mentors. So maybe let's try to implement this really quick. That would be so much fun. So I would say create a new milestone, not milestone, quick GSD quick for the issue. So we're going to pick the GitHub issue that Maham has reported. It's 121, issue 121. We need to automatically assign Discord roles when a mentor or mentee signs up on the platform. Okay. Now I can share the roles as well. The role IDs of mentor and mentee are da 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 and da 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 respectively. Right. So we do it like this. And let's see. I'm gonna bring my screen a bit big so we can quickly fix that. Let's see. I don't know if it's okay to share the mentor and mentee roles ID like globally or not. I wouldn't still count on it. So the mentor's role ID is this, and this is the mentee's role ID. And if I go to mentee, this is the role ID, right? But that's a really good suggestion from Maham. Rebase from main, create a PR, and make a note of this approach or this way of working for future tasks. So I do want it to remember that this is how I work. Otherwise, I would have to tell it every single time. Okay. So it goes ahead, picks the ticket, and I'll just let it go. Okay, so here we are. And I'll also go ahead and say, tell it to run on autonomous mode. This is the 02 website, by the way, because I'm going away until your credits or your rate limit is reached. So I'm instructing at least 02 website to just continue running, because I know the Discord role might be a bit smaller. So we're going to have a PR. I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy, take a bit of rest while my AI tools continue the work. And one of the nicest things that's making this possible is the GSD plugin, or the Get Shit Done plugin, so to say. Sorry for the language, I don't use that word at all. Um, Jazakallah for these live sessions. Sometimes I also complete my work while staying there on the live stream. Thank you. That's nice of you. Barakallah fi. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for all the messages, all the likes, and the new follows as well. I hope this stream was helpful to you, and I'll find you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.